What kind of beer do you like? Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey everybody, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I think is one of the greatest references to beer ever put into cinema. The movie, of course, is David Lynch's 1986 masterpiece, Blue Velvet, starring Kyle MacLachlan, Isabella Rossellini, Laura Dern, and as one of the most vile, horrible characters ever put to film, one of the most villainous characters of all time, Dennis Hopper.
Fucking puke! Fucking beer, man! Fuck it! Fucking beer! Let's drink the fucking swan.
Now, early in the film, Kyle MacLachlan's character establishes that he really likes Heineken.
Man, I like Heineken. You like Heineken?
Well, I never really had Heineken before.
You never had Heineken before?
Later, he meets Dennis Hopper's character, Frank Booth, who really does not like Heineken.
Fuck that shit!
All right, now I first saw this movie many years ago. It came out in 1986. I think I saw it like a year or two after its release. I was 16 at the time, so I would not have seen it in the theater. Yeah, I remember actually renting the VHS just from a convenience store and watching it in broad daylight, and it still creeped me out. It's a very strange film. Although now I look back at it, it's actually quite straightforward compared to David Lynch's later work, but it's got a mood. It's a movie with a real mood to it, and a lot of that comes down to Dennis Hopper's character. Now, one of the things that really struck me with the film, other than just how strange it was, is also had a really quirky sense of humor. It had its own sense of humor. I laughed at things I didn't really understand why. And part of that, or an example of that, is the dialogue around beer, which not only struck me as funny at the time, I also found it really told you a lot about the characters. You learned a lot about the characters in this movie based on the beer they drank. I'm sure there's other movies that have done that later on, but that's the first time I ever really noticed that. So you've got Kyle MacLachlan's character, Jeffrey. He's a college student, returns to his small town of Lumberton, USA to take care of his sick father. He's this young, educated guy, college student. He's just learning more about the world, and so he gravitates toward the imported beer. But Heineken's still not really that different from, your average American macros, so, while he's a bit curious and a little bit adventurous, he's still kind of naive, which he really is at the beginning of the film.
You know the chicken walk?
What's that? That's kind of interesting.
Meanwhile, Frank Booth, Dennis Hopper's character, he likes Pabst Blue Ribbon, one of the cheapest beers you can imagine. It's a beer that's just known for being cheap and just kind of bland. But I think another part of that with him, I'm sure he just seems like the kind of guy who would, drink that because it's American. It's not some fancy imported stuff. It's good old American beer. So that's kind of where I got on their characters based on the beer. And then there's, of course, Detective Williams, the father of Laura Dern's character. He likes a different beer. He likes Budweiser.
My dad drinks Bud.
King of beers.
We'll talk about him another time. What I want to know is, was Frank Booth right? Is Pabst Blue Ribbon a better beer than Heineken? Well, today we're going to find out. Now, the idea of this video actually came to me from my friend Ed, so I got to give a huge shout out to Ed. He gave me this birthday card that has Jeffrey Beaumont. Wonder if I'm going to have a Heineken birthday, and There's Dennis Hopper. He doesn't want that. You know, he doesn't want no Heineken on my birthday. And then he gave me a bag of beers that was basically 2 cans each of Heineken and Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now, the nice thing here with the Heineken is it's in a can. Heineken is very notorious for having a very skunky flavor. I think a lot of that comes from the green bottle because the light gets into it faster than it does through a brown bottle. I mean, any sort of green bottled beer has kind of suffered this fate a bit, right? Heineken, Moosehead, that kind of thing. So, but I'm getting it out of a can, so it might be a better experience than what Jeffrey was drinking. Who knows? Anyway, let's get into these beers. All right, so it's Heineken that's mentioned first in the film, and it is our protagonist who drinks it. So I'll start with that one. Let's crack open the Heineken. I used to think, when I was younger, I used to always think Heineken was a German beer. It's from Denmark, I believe. Established 1873. It's 5% alcohol. Is it Denmark? I'm trying to figure that out. You know what? I'll just flash that up on the screen and let you know. All right, let's get this into a glass. So it looks very crisp and golden. Lots of activity there. Big upside down snowfall. Of course, you can see my face in there. You can see my face. Let's get a nose on this. Smells fine. A little bit of a breadiness on the nose. There, going in for a sip. Cheers, everybody. It's not bad. A little crisp up front, but then kind of a smoother mouthfeel for the most part. Definitely getting a little bit of a sweetness to it. It's not bad. I haven't had a Heineken in quite a while. And I'm definitely not getting that skunky note that one often associates with Heineken. So, yeah, I think the can is the way to go. If you're going to have a Heineken, having a Heineken from a can is definitely the way to go. I'm pouring them into the same glass. Maybe not my smartest idea. I won't be able to tell them apart. I don't know. But that's what I decided. I've got these glasses right in front of me. It'll work for the visual comparison quite nicely, I think. Pabst Blue Ribbon, 4.9% alcohol. And established 1893. So it's not quite as old as Heineken. Yeah, that's really all it's just telling me. This version of it is actually brewed in Guelph, Ontario. What does the Heineken say where that one was brewed? Imported from, oh, this is actually imported from Holland. This is not brewed in Canada. Interesting. Whereas the US is a lot closer, and we still brew our own Pabst Blue Ribbon. All right, let's get into this. Again, a very light looking beer. Maybe even a touch lighter than the last one. You see in my face? Well, of course you're seeing my face through there. Is it lighter than the other one? It's really hard to say, isn't it? I'm going to say they're pretty much the same. They look like almost the same beer. And they both have like no head retention. Let's get a nose on this Pabst Blue Ribbon here. A lot less on the nose with this than I got from the Heineken. I mean, really with that, I just got like kind of a general breadiness that you get with a lot of beers. But this one, I'm barely even getting that. All right, well, let's go in for a sip. Cheers. That goes down really nice and easy. I haven't had a PBR in a while either. Okay, so the PBR ends more of like, you get more of a corn flavor in there. And that kind of lingers with you a little bit. Whereas I think the Heineken was maybe a little cleaner. The Heineken has a sweetness to it. But it doesn't have that corn flavor. Like that really stands out with the PBR. And it's not immediate. It's kind of more like once the beer settles, and then that corn flavor really sticks with you. Both are decent beers. And going into this video, I was pretty sure what I was going to pick, just based on past experiences. And it's got nothing to do with the characters in the movie or anything like that. But I really thought I was going to go with the Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm going with the Heineken. The Heineken is actually the better beer. I'm sorry, Frank Booth, but you're wrong. Pabst Blue Ribbon, fuck that shit. Heineken. I've said it. I have said it. There's a reason Frank Booth was a villain. I mean, they're both drinkable beers. They're both fine, but if I had to pick one, the Heineken's just a cleaner taste, and I just kind of like that it doesn't have that lingering corn aftertaste. Not that I've got anything against corn. It just feels a little more crushable. I could pound back a few Heinekens, I think, a little easier than I could a few Pabst Blue Ribbons. So there you have it. One of the great movie beer debates of all time finally settled. I'm sure none of you were lying awake at night wondering about that, but I figured it out for you, so there you go. Thank you all so much for dropping by the Terry Isle Basement Pub today, and a huge, huge thank you to Ed the Madman Cuddy for the awesome birthday gift. And yes, getting cans of Heineken and Pabst Blue Ribbon, I do consider that an awesome birthday gift. All right, thank you all so much. We'll see you all again real soon, my friends. Cheers.